Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. It is so nice to have this cool cat in the studio again. Fiona Chatwin is the executive and artistic director for Villa Musica. How you doing, Fiona?
I'm great. That's quite the introduction, Drew.
I try to always, do something a little bit different. I've called you inimitable. I've called you phenomenal, superb. We're going to go with Cool Cat for this one. You're joined by your colleague, Nicole Olsson, Community Partnership Manager for Villa Musica. How you doing, Nicole?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be here.
Good. How long you been working with Fiona and Villa Musica?
4 years, a number of hats to be held. But I mean, it's been really, really, really lovely working with Villa Musica. I'm happy to talk about it today.
Absolutely. And joined by Stephen Wade Adams, a photographer, did some photography for Villa Musica. How long have you been working with this group?
I was introduced to Villa Musica, or Fiona, just about a little over a year ago.
And what's your role? What do you do?
So I'm primarily a humanitarian photographer working with humanitarian and social organizations, doing photography, videography, and through a mutual acquaintance, through another organization, local organization, Global Communities, we were introduced and began our collaboration.
I love the word humanitarian because we need a lot more humanity in this world. We've been saying it ever since Fiona's been coming on the show. The beauty of Villa Musica and organizations like that, like Right Out Loud, and some of your colleagues who were just on this, Sacra Profana, who will be following you. We got you sandwiched in some really cool people. Is we can't do enough of this. Talk about the mission of the organization.
Well, I think we've always talked about this, Drew, that the mission of Villa Musica is about access and just making sure that every child, every adult, everyone who's interested in going down a musical path of any type has access to that opportunity. And that's what we do every day.
Well, and you bring up such a good point. And it's one thing to sit there and talk about whether it's access to music or singing or dancing or theater or any of that aspect, but it's also to open the door to provide them. And what I love about having you on the show is that you're going to find a place for them. You're going to find an instrument. You're going to find something if someone wants to get engaged in this. And you deal with all ages, do you not?
Yeah, we're open. I mean, that's why we refer to ourselves as a community music center, not a school, because I think when we talk about schools, we think K through 12. But a lot of our students are older adults. They're, young parents. They're a whole bunch of different people who are just taking a musical journey with us. Doesn't matter where they start, doesn't matter where they end. It's just all about, taking that journey and finding out what music means to them in a more involved and deeper way of doing things.
20 years? Goodness. Does it seem like 20 seconds or does it seem like 20 decades or both?
A little bit of both, depending on the day.
Right. Yeah, no, that's great. And I know since you've been coming on the show, you've expanded, correct?
Yeah, we've been expanding. We're actually still in the process of trying to find our new facility in East County.
Right.
But that is definitely on the horizon. Taking our time to find the right building has just really been... This is the time when it feels like 20 decades, where it just can't happen fast enough. I'm so frustrated, but we're getting there.
Is it more because of a lack of building space, or is it politics, or is it everything else that goes with trying to find a building that can meet your needs?
We want to find the right place.
Right.
We want to be in a community where we can make a difference. We thought we'd found the perfect building in Lemon Grove recently, and then the building was for sale or lease, and unfortunately, right at the witching hour, somebody came in and bought it.
How dare they do that?
I know, how rude.
Exactly. Don't they know who they're dealing with?
I don't know. I tried to raise $1.8 million on a Friday afternoon, and sadly...
And did you get to 1.7 or what?
No.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Well, listen.
In a word.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, Nicole, do you have a background in teaching, a background in music?
Yeah, so I started working at Villa Musica when I was finishing my bachelor's degree in music education at San Diego State. Go Aztecs.
Aztecs.
And since then, I've been teaching violin group classes and most happily directing all of our summer camps, working with a lot of our volunteer high school students as teaching assistants and summer camp assistants. And now we have a youth council program with some of our youth that have been working with us for the last couple of years, just kind of giving them more of a voice rather than telling them what we need, which has been lovely. And just the more that I teach Villa Musica's programs, be that in the community or at a library program or at one of our couple schools, the more I meet the people that really benefit from being part of a musical community. And now, when I get to sit on my computer and email all these people, it makes me a little bit more happier that I have the other side of that connection, teaching them and sharing the joy of music with them.
So the youth council, is there a certain age group?
Yes, so we're high school.
So 9-12 then, right? Okay. And then do they sort of term out, if that's the right word, when they get to college? Or do you accept some college folks as well?
That is a question that I am very, very happy for them to answer when we kind of get to that point. I've never turned away anybody who wants to work for Villa Musica, work for music education, work in not really childcare, but work in bettering our musical community. I've never turned away anybody.
That's good. Talk about your satellites.
Yeah. So we've got our 5 library programs that we partnership with. Those are at City Heights Library, College Orlando Library, Malcolm X Valencia, Logan Heights Library, which just celebrated their 10-year anniversary earlier this year or last year. And I wonder if I'm missing anybody.
I think you might not have mentioned City Heights. No,
City
maybe
Heights.
you did.
City Heights Library has a lovely, bustling early childhood music class for 3 and 4-year-olds. And every week we've got a couple of regulars. We were actually able to offer them a summer class this summer for a couple of weeks that we developed the programming for that summer class with another program that the San Diego Public Library already had. That was really, really lovely. There's just a number of, over 200 students that we have of all ages from, I guess, 3 years old and up who are really, really just starting their musical journey.
Well, and I think the beauty of what Villa Musica is about is does it make a difference if you even know how to even carry a note, play a note, do anything? Everyone's welcome. And you should not be intimidated by this. We're chatting with our friends from Villa Musica. Fiona Chatwin, the executive and artistic director, joined by her colleague, Nicole Olsson, Community Partnership Manager, joined by photographer Stephen Wade Adams. So there's a lot of what you do in the creativeness of your work, Stephen. How does it tie beautifully into the mission of Villa Musica?
That's a great question. And as I said, my focus is on humanitarian and social photography. But because of that particular emphasis, the core of that work is always about people. And as Fiona and I began to discuss what kind of collaboration we might do, we came up with several ideas. But as she noted, the core of their work is delivered through these people that is her faculty. And so what better way to celebrate her organization and focusing just on that, the very people that deliver those services and make that impact in the community.
One of the tenets of journalism, and my colleague Oscar Juarez would say this. So Oscar's a senior at San Diego State, majoring in journalism. It's all about the people. and a story. Whether it's what you're writing about the people, whether you're taking photos of the people, whether you're videographing the people, it comes down to the people. And, talk about that. Stephen, you've been doing this for a while. How do you capture the essence of these people? You got to have a mind for it. You're a pro. It takes a while to look at this thing. But not everyone can do it. They think they can because now they can take pictures on their cell phones, or they think they're photographers. So talk about that.
Yeah. That's really interesting. I think, when Fiona and I started talking about this project, a lot of people come into the studio or wherever we're going to take the photographs at Villa Musica, and they have a certain idea. Okay, here's who I am. Here's what I want people to see. Here's the image I want. And that's actually my first challenge, is to kind of break that down a little bit and say, okay, so that's the image you want. It may actually not be the most interesting photograph, and it may not be. So my challenge is always like, well, I want to find something that you don't want to see, that you don't want to immediately let me see, and that's to me the most exciting thing about sitting down with a new person is. I may have to take a few photographs of those, the ones that they think they want to see, but as I said, the real person is much more multidimensional than that. So finding those other aspects of the person's personality, to me, is what really is exciting about doing the actual session.
We've always had, at least in my world, just such a respect for photographers, whether you're a news photographer from the Union Tribune or you're doing other things. I just marvel at, it's just like playing music, playing, violin like Nicole does, or all the other things that these folks are at the top of their game. It's just, they see things differently, and they can execute this and go, how in the heck did you even think about X, Y, and Z? Which ties beautifully into what you're doing, Fiona, as well. We come back from break. I want to talk a little bit more about, with the work that Stephen is doing as well. And, certainly about school programming. It's about schools and all that. And I know one of these days I'm going to take you up on this because you said, Drew, you've mentioned that you can't sing a note, which is very true. You can't play anything, which is very true. But this is why Villa Musica you are the perfect customer for it. We'll talk about that when we return with our friends from Villa Musica. Fiona Chatwin, Executive and Artistic Director, joined by her Community Partnership Manager, Nicole Olsson, and photographer Stephen Wade Adams. I'm Drew Schlosberg, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We are back with our friends from Villa Musica, Fiona Chatwin, Executive and Artistic Director, joined by our colleague Nicole Olsson, Community Partnership Manager, and Stephen Wade Adams, photographer par none. Just so great working with him and talking about some of the creative ideas that come out of his head, working with Villa Musica and the partnership with Fiona. I'll start with you on this, Fiona, and you can add to it, certainly, Nicole. Talk about school programming.
That's kind of one of our pillars that we work in the community. We have our programming for older adults called Encore. We have the satellite programs that Nicole talked about earlier. But one of the really key elements of the work we do is in collaboration with schools. Some schools have music programs and, they have overwhelmed staff who are, confronted with 40 very enthusiastic young musicians who are dying to figure out which end of the flute to blow. So we, we send in a specialist.
I'd blow in the middle part. And
yeah.
that wouldn't get me anywhere,
No,
I'm sure.
it really wouldn't. No, That's not the right end to blow.
Right, exactly.
But, having a specialist come in and support a school program is one of the things we do. We have coaches that we send in on an hourly basis. We have a bunch of different programs where we run the music all together from K through whatever the school is, K through 5, K through 8. Some schools just don't have a music budget.
That's right.
And then we have this amazing program that we found through Carnegie Hall called Link Up, which is, we dedicate it at 3rd grade mostly if we can. This program introduces basic concepts of music and the fundamentals. The children learn how to sing and play recorder. And the culminating recital is the most gorgeous thing. We are partnering with La Jolla Symphony. And the symphony's up on stage. They're performing, and the first 6 to 7 rows of the audience are all these little children who've learned the music that the orchestra is going to play, and they play along with the symphony.
Wow.
And it's so absolutely fantastic. And I think last year we served around 600 students. Is that correct, Nicole? We were in about 10 schools. And the benefit of having this 3rd grade program is that when the children have done a year of music through Link Up, through Villa Musica, they go into 4th grade and the Unified School District brings in their music program, and then the children are a little bit more prepared, a little bit more ready to receive the programming that comes through their school. So, Unified are like, thank you, Villa Musica. These kids actually know what a quarter note is. They know, some basic fundamentals of music, which I think is really important. And that's where Villa Musica loves to do these sort of partnerships that are really deeply embedded in the kind of tapestry of the music education scene here in San Diego.
Yeah, Nicole.
What I think is, if I wanted to talk about sitting on both sides of the screen, teaching our programs and then emailing about our programs, is I love that we, Villa Musica has the ability to offer a multitude of different programs to the schools, and the multitude of programs extend beyond what the school might already have to offer. So let's say if a school only has a class set of ukuleles, those kids are going to be learning ukulele from time in and time out until they're out of there. And Villa Musica can kind of offer, we have more. We can support you with more music, more opportunities, just kind of build a more well-rounded young musician before they get sent off to middle school. So like the Link Up program, and it's lovely when our Villa Musica faculty members go into a school. The students already know, because bless their classroom teachers, but the students already know what they're in for their music class. They're not just sitting down for a music class. They're sitting down for, I'm going to learn how to play the guitar in my during school class, or I'm going to learn how to play the recorder so I can toot and flute with a symphony orchestra. They're already ready because they, the community of their principals, their teachers, the students have all kind of selected the kind of music that they feel is appropriate for each of their students at each of their grade levels.
Well, and we know when you get somebody excited about filling the topic, whether it's taking, photographs like in Stephen's profession, or playing an instrument, or dancing, you get electrified, and then what you want to do is, I want more. And then you turn around and goes, but there's no more. That's where you guys come in and no, there's more on this. Talk a little bit about, I'm sort of fascinated about this, the intersection of arts that you're going to have on November 15, showcasing the stellar work of Stephen.
Well, this is going to be kind of very meaningful specifically for me because lo and behold, here we are having an event on the actual date that I signed the incorporation documents 20 years ago. So the 15th of November.
That red letter date?
2005.
Yes, exactly.
Now celebrating on November the 15th, 2025. And this is one of Nicole's programs. She wears so many hats at Villa Musica. She talked about every single one of them except intersection arts earlier. But this program started in 2011. We have a little recital hall that had a lot of white walls. And I thought, gosh, we need to get some local artists in here. We need to make this space, more appealing, more energized. And it has evolved into much more than that. It's not just making the room more colorful nowadays. It's actually representing underrepresented artists in San Diego in this opportunity to show their work. Some people even choose to sell their work. And then with Steve doing all these beautiful portraits, I do want to remind everyone that these are not headshots of teaching artists. These are beautiful pieces of art, and they are extraordinary representations of what Steve was talking about a little bit earlier, the essence of the subject, rather than here's my headshot because I'm a guitarist. And, they're really beautiful pieces of art.
Well, and that's what we're talking about, Stephen. You've got this eye for it. Obviously, it's in your profession. Talk about how fun it was to work with Fiona and Nicole.
Well, the collaboration was absolutely wonderful. And I would say that one is just the latitude and that they provided me, and just kind of went with it. Okay, whatever you think is going to work well, that you give it a go, and obviously the work required to corral quite a large number of people in a very compressed period of time to get them into the studio and ensure the access of the space. I mean, all of those logistics, but more than that, it was just I think the mutual respect that I have for the organization, that they have for me as an artist. I think that was really what facilitated a great collaboration. And I wanted to just follow up a little bit on this thought that we all, everyone's a photographer now because everybody has cell phones. Right. Everybody takes pictures. They post them many times a day through various mechanisms. And even my own photographs, if you look at them on the phone, they're one experience. And that is a different experience than looking at a print. It's a different experience to look at a foam versus a 6x9 print, which is a very different experience than looking at a 12x18 print, which is different again than looking at a 20x30 print. Just the impact that it has, the feeling you have, the detail that you can appreciate. It is not the same thing. And I think that's why I'm so excited and so appreciative of the honor that they're giving me to exhibit my work it's really not just my work. It's a collaboration that with not only Fiona and Nicole, but their entire faculty. And they all, it's them, right? That they contributed to making these images.
Right. Now, is this an event? Is it just going to be starting on the 15th, or how does that work?
It's going to be an event. We're going to have an opening.
Okay.
So it'll happen on Saturday, November the 15th.
Is it a ticketed event?
No, it's a come and check out the photo event.
and where's it going to be?
At Villa Musica in Sorrento Valley.
Okay, right at your home stable, so to speak.
Exactly, HQ.
Okay.
And it's going to be open to whoever would like to come. There'll be a little bit of wine, a few snacks, and we're really hoping people will come and stay for a minute, find out a little bit about Steve's work, find out a little bit about what we do. And I love the intersection of that, because one of the really exciting parts about this opening is that we're going to have some of the artists who are on the wall perform. So there's going to be music as well, which I think is really exciting.
Whenever there's music tied into it, and Fiona, and I know Susan Clausen does as well, live music is in my DNA and so forth. I can't get enough of it. I'm going to look at my schedule. You know what? Going to be out of town on the 15th.
Oh, man.
I know. Sorry about that. But I will be doing something cool. I'll be with hanging out with my brother and stuff. But it is November the 15th, celebrating 20 years from the signing of Villa Musica. It's always a delight to have you on. Fiona, what can our listeners do to support your efforts? Obviously, go to these things, but donate, volunteer.
Donate, volunteer. There's so much information on our website. We're always looking for new board members. We're always looking for engaged donors who want to put music in the hands of children and adults who wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity. There's all sorts of exciting things going on. I keep talking about East County. I guarantee you're going to be one of the first people to know.
We're going to break it on our Spotlight show. That's what we're going to do. I'll guarantee that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Nicole, anything to add to that?
If there are any teachers out there, principals, school counselors out there, we are looking to add more schools to our Link Up program that we mentioned earlier for third and fourth graders. So if anyone out there has Title I funding or has need for more music in their schools, just reach out to Villa Musica and you'll be directed to the proper channels. And we hope to meet you and build a relationship with more of the students and teachers in our communities.
And the website is?
villamusica.org.
Very, very good. Steve, any final comments?
Just that I'm highly appreciative of the collaboration I have with Villa Musica, and I hope folks will enjoy this particular celebration, which is a bit of a pause or an exclamation of our work together, but more things to come.
That sounds good. So Fiona, always good seeing you. Nicole, what a pleasure. Stephen, thanks for your great work. November 15th, the Intersection Arts event will be at Villa Musica in Serrano Valley. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 60 plus years of doing great things in the community, whether it's focusing on the arts, financial literacy, food insecurity, or everything in between. And to our listeners, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.